Alrighty, CNT140 bid specification project. We just got done doing our catchment area and narrowing down that we're going to use these two closets, this 113 and this 124. 113 for this wing, 124 for this wing. And that's because we did our catchment area and estimated a 50-meter radius from that closet, what area would it serve. So now that we have that narrowed down, we want to start estimating our cabling for our building. If we had large blueprints, we might load them into a program like AutoCAD and actually use that to help us with some of these things. But we're going to use our packet tracer. Our packet tracer actually has some nice features in to help us with the step we're going to do now. We want to start figuring out how much cabling we're going to need for this building. So what we'll do, we're going to measure from our closet into a room. And that's where packet tracer is going to help us. And then we're going to take that measurement and put it into our spreadsheet and have our spreadsheet calculate the extra distance, that 40% extra for orthogonal wiring, times the number of drops for a room to give us this is how many meters we need for our closet. I should say, to cable that room. So we're going to do two pieces in one. We'll have the packet tracer help us identify distances, and then we're going to start keeping track of that and putting some formulas in the spreadsheet to calculate. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm opening the packet tracer file that I downloaded previously, my packet tracer Hall Tech file here. You notice on the logical there's really nothing over here. We're going to go to the physical side. Here's our Harrisburg City. We're going to open that up. Here's the Hall Tech building. And again, just take note that I do actually have the scale turn on here. So that gives you an idea. We said it was about 60 meters. Here, 400 to 600, there's 200 meters. There's about, 100 meters. So yeah, this distance is about right. I actually plugged that in to try to get it to represent for us. Now, I'm going to do a quick file save as on this guy. And I'm going to call this my demo file. That way I know this is the one I'm slowly working on to show you all these steps. Alright, so what we're going to do now is you'll notice I did actually plop a closet on here on 113 and 124. Those should be on your plan because we knew that's probably what we're going to use. I'm going to open each closet and I'm going to put a little bit of equipment in here that we'll need. As I look at it now, it's a blank closet. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add a new equipment rack. I'll throw a table in here too. And I'll end up doing the same thing in the other closet. I'm also going to, actually I'll back out right now and I'll do that in the other closet. I'll click on this one. And I will do an equipment rack and a table in this one. And I will probably want to, let me back out here. We'll go over here to the first closet. This is 113. I think I'm going to label this. And I will just come up here and I will say closet 113 rack, something like that. That way, as I'm looking at things in this plan, things do not blur together. So I will come over to this one and I will label this one closet 124A rack. Again, as I start looking at things in my plan, these should hopefully not blur together then on me. So I'll go back over here to my 113 closet. I'm going to go to the cables area here. And down here in the bottom, there is instead of just the patch cables here, if I click on this little outlet box, this allows me to put a copper patch panel in. So I'm going to drop that in here. And I'm going to label this something like 113 patch panel A or something like that. That way I have some kind of logic to what I'm doing. I'll go to the other closet real quick. I'll do the same thing. I'm going to put another patch panel over here. And I will call this 124A, and I'll call patch panel A. Just so I have some kind of label in here so things do not blur together. Alright, I'm now going to, on this hallway over here, I'm going to take an outlet box. Here's a copper outlet box. And I'm going to drop it out here into 101. And I'm just going to leave this, I'll just leave it wall mount 0 for now. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to cable between them. I'm just going to keep moving the outlet box around to get my distance. So I'm going to now do a cable connection, a straight through copper cable. And I'm going to go from the outlet box. I'll zoom in here a little bit. I'm going to click on the outlet box. And I'll just do punch down 1. I'm going to drag it down here to the closet. I'll click on the closet. Closet rack, patch panel. And we'll do punch down 1. And now we actually have a horizontal cable between the two, that classroom and that closet. So if I now hold my pointer over that, it actually gives me a distance. It says this length is 40.6 meters. So what I can do now is over on my spreadsheet, I can say to my 101 room, it's 40.6 meters. And I'll leave that like that. There's my meters. Now if I drag it over here to 102, and I'm hoping this will update nicely for me, I'll drag it right near the middle. I'm going to do the middle of each room because some drops might be on the near wall, some might be on the far wall. So this is going to give me kind of an average. I'll hold my pointer over there and find out it's 30.5 meters. And I'm just going to progress through my building like that and have this give me my distance measurements. Here's 103, hold the pointer over the cable. I come up with 30.7. You notice I'm just kind of rounding. I'm doing just, fairly accurate, but rounding to that distance. And I'm going to keep doing that through my building for this wing and then the other wing. Okay. I'm going to pause while I finish doing this. You don't need to watch me do every single room. Actually, I'll go over here real quick and I'll do the same thing on this side. I'll take an outlet box. I'll put a copper one over here and I will connect it to this closet now. I'll do punch down 1 and I'll come in here to my patch panel, punch down 1, and here I'm going to say 121 as I hold the pointer over looks like 20.1 meters. So down here 121 will be 20.1 meters. Okay, and now I will pause for a second while I finish all these and then I'll show you how to do the next step. Okay, I slowly moved my outlet box down this hallway here till I got all of these rooms, and then I slowly moved it down this hallway till I got all these rooms. You notice I just did the classrooms. I left the storage and those sorts of things out. Your measurements might be slightly different than mine. That's okay. If you round it a little bit differently, that's okay. I'm more interested in the process. Okay, so just a little heads up on that. So I have all my measurements to my rooms now. Nice. What I'll do is I'll just save this. That way I can be adding to this as I go this semester. You might want to do the same thing. We're now going to, let's use our spreadsheet to help us calculate this extra distance and the number of drops per room. So on my spreadsheet, we're going to put a couple formulas in. We need a column that shows 140% the distance. We need to add 40% for this orthogonal wiring. So right here, we're going to do a formula. We're going to say, let me make this a little bit larger for you real quick. In this cell, we're going to say equals, and we're going to take this column, we're going to click that cell, and we'll do asterisk to multiply, and we're going to multiply by 1.4. That'll be 140%. So now we have this distance here with the added 40%. We're going to highlight that cell, and I'm going to drag this little I'm going to grab this little square in the corner and drag it down. That'll drag that formula down to all these cells. Actually, I could continue it down here too. These have nothing, and so they're zeros. That's fine. We're then going to do the same thing down here. We'll say this equals this cell, click on there, asterisk 1.4, and do the same thing here. I'll highlight that, and I'll drag that down to all these cells right there. So now we have 140% the distance. We now want the number of drops per room. For pretty much all these, it's going to be 4 for the classrooms. That's why I did this earlier. Classrooms and even offices are going to get 4. Closet, storage. Okay. Down here we have classroom, storage, closet. Office is going to get 4. Classroom's going to get 4. Classroom. Okay. And now this last cell out here, we're going to multiply this distance, this added 40% for the orthogonal wiring, round corners, up and down walls. We're going to say this equals this distance, asterisk for multiply, times this cell. And that'll give us the amount of cabling to do that room, 227 meters of cabling to do this room. And again, we'll drag this formula down to all the cells below it. I'll keep going to make sure I get them all. There we go. And I'll do the same exact thing down here. Equals this distance, asterisk this distance right here. And drag that down for all of these cells. Oops, I have one extra there. I'm going to drag it back up. We'll just redo that right there, down to just there. Perfect. So now we have some estimations. We know from the catchment area these two closets should work. We just did a quick estimation for all the rooms, and we're finding out nothing is over the 90 meters, which is what we want. We want nothing over this 90-meter distance. And now we actually start having some totals of the amount of cabling we would need to purchase to do this building. Save your spreadsheet. Save that so far. I'm actually going to do a little label down here. I'm going to rename this, and I'm going to do I'm going to call it cable estimation. And now I know that that tab has all of my cable estimations on. And we're also going to be able to gather other data from here, like the number of drops and the amount of cabling and so forth. So we have a lot of data we can pull from this as we move along in our project. So that should be the last piece you need out here for your cable estimation.